We'll take a look at the rest of the report on the home front. Seeing the president's speech is quite pivotal, and that's why we started off there. We'll take a look at Ewonda this time. In land dispute that has highlighted the colonial government's neglect and indifference towards local resident struggles. Now, as indigenous people fight to reclaim titles for contested land, they contend that the colonial government's failure to address illegal village creations is deepening the crisis and threatening their way of life. Well, we see that Ewonda, which is a village located in Fako of the Midland Zone, is currently facing a serious land conflict involving about 85 hectares of contested territory. Indigenous residents are working to revoke land titles given to the newly established Lower Ewonda community, arguing that the imposter government's lack of action has allowed illegal villages to emerge, worsening the situation. On May 9th, 2025, a meeting took place at the Minecraft Regional Office in Boya. Now, following directives from the Colonial Minister of State Property, Surveys and Land Tenures, the Republic's regional delegate Nyasako Benson led the session, which was intended to address a petition for the cancellation of land titles awarded to Lower Ewonda, now created in 2021. However, many locals feel that the BIA regime response has been inadequate and dismissive. Tensions escalated when the Lower Ewonda community began investing in the contested land, leading to attempted evictions of long-time occupants who assert their ancestral rights. Now, eyewitness accounts describe distressing scenes where law enforcement oversaw the destruction of crops in total indifference. Now, residents of Lower Ewonda argued that the land is occupied by strangers and have issued eviction notices via the colonial state media. Meanwhile, Ewonda locals maintain that their families have farmed this land for generations. During the colonial Minecraft hearing, legal representatives from both sides presented their arguments. The Ewonda lawyers called for the reversal of land titles, citing historical documents that support their ownership claims. They expressed deep concern over the damage to their crops and the desecration of ancestral sites, emphasizing the colonial Republic's failure to act before the situation escalated. Now, a lawyer from Ewonda stated that they had clearly made evidence of their ownership, clear evidence of that, and the devastating impact the conflict has had on their lives. In contrast, Barrister Obi Rene, representing Lower Ewonda, defended the legitimacy of their land titles, insisting that proper procedures had been followed. Yet, many in the Ewonda community feel that the government, the colonial government, has not taken their grievances seriously, especially with a government that seems indifferent to their plight. Now, before we get into the next report, we see this chaos going on, which is established by the colonial regime because of its new creation of unauthorized villages in the southern Cameroon.